Hey guys, in this video I'll be showcasing my experience at the new Royal Titans boss, or bosses rather, that were just added recently. Now this boss encounter is aimed at mid-level players more so than myself, but seeing as it is new content and is designed to be a duo boss, which is interesting, I took it upon myself to try it out for a little bit. Now, I want to clarify that this is in no way a guide, but I will be putting the gear and inventory I used throughout most of this video up on screen. I use this setup to allow for minimum switches and prayer camping with Protect from Melee and Rigor or Piety throughout each and every fight, just to minimize the effort put into the grind. Seeing as these bosses are intended to be fought with a partner rather than solo, the kills did go rather slowly, especially at first, which it was actually kind of ridiculous. But since I only have two people I talk to on OldSchool Runescape consistently, both of which don't really do much PvM at all, I chose to solo each encounter. However, that did mean every loot drop was mine and I did not have to split any of it. Now, getting into the actual boss fight, I had no idea what I was doing at first. I did no research on this fight beforehand. I didn't know what to pray, I didn't know what style to use and when. I went in completely blind to the mechanics, and it led to me having to tab out because I did not know what to do. As you can see here, I'm praying mage and just going for range attacks. I had no magic switch at all in my inventory, and as soon as the giant stomp attack started, I knew I would die if I didn't eat or tab out, so I left to regather myself before dying, which would have happened right here if I didn't. It only took me a couple tries before getting my first KC. It did take an extremely long time though during the fight. I was scrambling my switches and prayers and trying to figure out the rhythm of the fight. And as you'll see here in a second, it took me nearly 12 minutes to get my first KC. And a big part of that was because I did not realize you could melee them when they were doing their stomp attacks, which is my fault for lack of trying. So as soon as I figured that out, the kill started going significantly faster. And as you can see right here, at only 5 KC, I got the first half of the new Twin Flame Staff, the Fire Element Staff Crown. I was hyped at this point, having gotten kill times down to around 3 minutes, and this drop made me want to stay for a while. That's not to say that there were no mistakes when making this video. I died a total of 2 times. However, there were some close calls, mostly because of lack of sleep and misclicks, getting switches messed up. But, you know, it is what it is. But as you can see here, I actually got the necklace that allows you to teleport straight to the boss's lair, so no more fairy rings, and that also means shorter trips. Now, I feel I should clarify, this video is ultimately leading to what you can expect in terms of money per kill from these bosses. I looted both bosses exactly 100 times for this video, which at about 3 minutes a kill is roughly 10 hours of this boss fight. Now, like I said in the beginning of this video, this boss fight is more intended for mid-game players. So unless you're in the mid-game of your count progression or you're an Iron Man, this boss fight isn't really meant for you. So I would definitely stick to other pieces of content if you're looking for a moneymaker. But as you can see right here at just 52 KC, we got the Ice Element Staff Crown, which is the second half of the Twin Flame Staff. I of course went straight to the Grand Exchange to buy a Battle Staff to combine the 3. And not much longer after that, at 66 KC, I received the Mystic Vigor Prayer Scroll to unlock the new Magic Prayer. I was really excited about this one. The new prayers are obviously worth getting at some point, and I really wanted the Deadeye Prayer Scroll from Eldrick, so hopefully at some point we do see that as our loot drop. Now, something I didn't notice until after a while was the Twin Flame Staff actually automatically uses the correct elemental spell when casting. You don't need to manually cast different elemental spells with this staff, and I almost died when I realized this mid-fight, which was kind of funny because this whole time since getting the Twin Flame Staff, after several trips to fight this boss, I was still manually casting these spells. But nevertheless, I learned, and it made my trips and kills that much faster. But right here I get my 7th Giant Soul Amulet from these bosses, my second this trip, and recording this video allowed me to accumulate a lot of these, and my reaction right here sums up how I feel about it. And you know, when it comes to the fight itself, it is honestly a lot of fun doing it solo. I imagine with a friend it would be even more enjoyable.
they ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
All jokes aside, it is a very interesting and fun boss fight, especially how it pushes you to perform prayer and gear switches, effectively teaching people new to PvM how to do these things. And while it can be done with only a weapon switch, which I do for most of this video, it can be dramatically improved by including more gear switches. And I'm far from an expert at PvM myself. Like I said, I made a lot of mistakes during the making of this video. I kept messing up switches, which would cause me to misclick often, but me personally, usually once I get into the rhythm of a boss or activity, I can usually hold my own with little to no problem. With this fight in particular, I got to the point that as long as I was paying full attention, I could go whole trips without taking any damage. It's not a difficult fight by any means, and I would definitely recommend people that are new to PvM to at least check it out and give it a try. Because you just never know what you'll get, just like the second Ice Crown drop at 101 KC. Was definitely happy to see that. I just hope I can get another Fire Crown by the end of the grind. Seems like the last things I really need are the Deadeye Prayer Scroll and the pet. And speaking of which, I would love to see that thing join my my other pets in my POH. I'm a big fan of the design and I actually really like it. And would you look at that, got yet another amulet. Not gonna lie, I was getting kind of tired of seeing these things. I'd hear the little drop sound thinking I got something special just to be disappointed when I realized it was just another amulet. Kind of wish the drop rate was lowered a bit, but I guess who am I to complain about it? And at this point I've hit 100 KC on Eldrick the Ice King, which means unfortunately no Deadeye Prayer Scroll. I was really hoping to get it to use instead of Rigor here, mainly because, like I said, I just camped Piety, Rigor, and Protect from Melee literally the whole time. So I went through a lot of super restores. I could have just not used them, but I don't mind all that much. But if you're more stingy with your supplies, then I would recommend prayer flicking when you can, rather than keeping out the prayers constantly like I did. Because I did go through a lot of restores during this video. But it is what it is. I'll come back at some point to get that prayer scroll, not sure when, but I definitely want to add that to my prayer book eventually. Now, we're getting towards the end of this grind. It was an enjoyable ride fighting these new bosses. Love the new content, even if it is for more mid-game players. But to wrap up the video, let's go ahead and start covering the loot from each of these bosses. So first, Eldrick the Ice King. We got a lot of seeds, water staves, and orbs, and rune items thrown in there as well. There are also a decent assortment of runes and prayer potions. And in total, this equaled out to about 4.72 mil, which comes out to about 47k gold per kill. And now for Branded the Fire Queen. You'll see instead of seeds, water staves, and orbs, we got herbs, fire staves, and fire orbs. Brenda also has a few common rune drops as well as a variety of runes and ores, so similar drop table, just minor differences here and there. And these drops come out to about 4.63 mil, which means the average kill was about 46k per kill. And this tells us that the boss's drop tables are extremely similar in terms of gold per hour, which makes sense for the type of content that it is. And if you did the math, you notice that I got 14 of those amulets, which is honestly wild, and they need to be nerfed somehow, I think. Also, if you were wondering, I was averaging about 4 to 5 kills a trip with my setup. The trips could definitely be extended by using your prayer more sparingly. And I was also getting about 20 kills an hour, each kill taking roughly 3 minutes. So those could definitely be improved too. Now, if you've made it all the way to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you for watching. I spent more time on this video than any of my previous ones, and I know I have a lot to improve on, and will do my best to do so. If you have any recommendations, I'd appreciate it if you left them in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like or even subscribing for more content. And I will see you guys later.